Foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Raka HaKodash, and double honor to the apostles and elders of the Great Millstone. Today, I just want to pull up, a few scripts, on this video I just watched. As you can see in the title, it says "Flag Burning, Army Veteran Arrested Outside the White House," right? And this is about a veteran who's burning an American flag outside of the White House at that, so this guy got some balls, right? Not only that, but this is like days after Trump passed that a bill. I think it's down here somewhere, right here, flag burning restrictions. He just passed a bill on that, right? So we're gonna watch this video real quick.
And you are taking a live look here that is over in Washington, D.C. Now, we are learning a little bit more about the crime crackdown there in D.C., as it does appear that the first homicide has been reported in several days. We also want to talk just a little bit more about a man who torched an American flag in protest being arrested. So much to discuss here. Let's bring in Fox 5 D.C.'s Stephanie Ramirez joining us live outside the White House. And Stephanie, obviously a very busy morning here.
A busy morning indeed, and actually just within seconds we did have some National Guard members arrive on scene, so you might see them behind me here. It looks like they're picking up trash right now at Lafayette Park. We are just outside of the White House. All right, now in terms of the federal takeover, we know the Trump administration has been touting the takeover, federal surge, as the reason why D.C. crime has not only dropped in the district, but the reason why we've seen nearly 2 straight weeks of no homicides. But that did change. We learned within the past hour that D.C. police did have a fatal shooting in the southeast neighborhood of the district, where a man was shot just before 12:30 in the morning and ended up dying of his injuries. Southeast, unfortunately, an area that is often plagued by crime. Now, moving on, and the president leaning into his focus on D.C. crime, the federal surge, and the focus on the administration of law and order, he did announce a number of new executive orders, and we saw an arrest connected to this. You were just talking about it. A man arrested outside of the White House yesterday evening at around 6:30. He burned an American flag, and we don't know his name. What's going on, though, is that the president had just announced an executive order essentially prohibiting the burning of American flags. And so we believe that this action was done in protest of that. We don't know the man's name. We don't know if his arrest is in connection with the executive order. Right now, Park Police are telling us that the charge or the violation that he was found to have committed here is called prohibited fire. We also don't know the man's name. What we are told is that he is an Army combat veteran, and he did this action, burning the American flag, in protest just hours after these executive orders. So again, the president, leaning into what he's been focused on already here, issued these number of executive orders. One of them seeks to have anyone who burns or desecrates an American flag be prosecuted and spend a year in jail. And then there are other issues focused on, like, for example, requiring the Secretary of Defense to begin training and creating a specialized unit within the D.C. National Guard that can be deputized to enforce federal law. He wants the country's National Guards trained and ready to respond to civil disturbances. And another big one that targets D.C. specifically is an executive order to get rid of cashless bond. Now, D.C. leaders argue that goes against the crime data in the district. The D.C. ACLU argues that the president, quote, is furthering his dangerous performative abuse of power in D.C., and that it can actually have a negative impact on public safety by separating people from their support networks, jobs, and housing. Now, I do want to note the D.C. Council did change the law to hold more people pre-trial in recent years. It's something council members say have contributed to the lowering of D.C.'s crime rate before the federal surge started about 2 weeks ago. Here's what the president said in his comments yesterday.
Somebody kills somebody, they go in, don't worry about it, no cash, come back in a couple of months, we'll give you a trial. You never see the person again.
Video, right? But as we just watched, you had a veteran, right, who fought for this country, burning a flag of this country. This is Mark chapter 3, verse 23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? Right? And this is what the Lord Yahushai speaking. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. Right? You got a vet. You know, that guy had gray hairs. You know, so he been here some time. Burning an American flag in front of the White House, bro. If that don't sound like division, I don't know what is. Right? And these are telltale signs that Esau is coming down, bro. Their rule is through. Right? Esau, you through. And I can't fucking wait, bro. Like, she gotta be so happy. It's locked in. I can't wait, man. Now, you know what I'm saying? The fact that they knew Buddy was a veteran and all of that, and they didn't know his name, that's a little sketchy. You know what I'm saying? This could have very well been a setup for something. But the fact still stands, right? You know, we know what in the end times you're gonna have the nation fighting against the nation. You know, people fighting against one another. You're gonna have nothing but division, right? And as we just read, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. This devil is through, man. His own people don't even fuck with him no more. Their own people don't fuck with him anymore. These so-called white Americans, they had enough as well. Jake been had enough. We've been, you know what I'm saying? But now that they're getting a taste of it, you know what I'm saying, that they're feeling what we've been feeling this whole time, and they had enough. So that's how you know this place coming to an end, man. The day of the Lord's return is soon, and I can't fucking wait, bro. I know you brothers and sisters can't wait either, but I can't wait, man. I want to get Isaiah. It's not going to be a long video either. It's Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1. It says, message to Egypt, right? We know Egypt being what? Spiritually here, you know, America, Babylon the Great. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Right? You know, that's the Lord coming back with his angels, you know, in that great chariot, right, to bring his judgment upon this place. And it's saying that, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, right? You go into that word moved. I was looking to it. It shall be moved. Nahwai, I believe. But it says to quiver, totter, shake, reel, stagger, wonder, move, sift, make move, wave, tremble. You know, to wave, quiver, vibrate, swing, you know, and so on and so forth. But ultimately, their idols being moved that's like a personification, right, or metaphor, whatever you want to call it, of ultimately them, you know what I'm saying, being cast away. You know, once people see the Lord return, they realize all the idols and shit they've been worshiping ain't nothing. You know, they're gonna cast it away. Right? They're gonna throw it down, trample it. Forget that, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be praying to whoever. They're gonna be realizing ain't shit getting better, right? But continuing, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, right? So you're gonna have Americans rising up one against another. As we just seen, that man's burning an American flag in front of the White House, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if that was a setup, but still, like, right after, you know, Trump just passed that executive order. You know, and Trump passed that because he knows that the shit that they finna be doing is going to come with a bunch of kickback. Like, people are not going to be fucking with it. So he know they're going to be trying to make their little videos, you know, burning the flag and whatnot. But that's a free pass for him to round them up. What does it say? You throw them in jail for like a year? Hey, that's all this devil need. A year with you? Shit, we seen how Trump just got everything moving in, what, 6 months? And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And what? That goes into that division, right? Goes into that time of the end. You know, Esau, you don't have much time left, right? The water Yahweh Shai for that. You know, we're closer than ever before. And the signs are all around us proving that, showing that. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh Shai of hosts, right? And we believe that cruel lord to be who? Trump. Right? Because if not him, bro, who is it? Like, look at the stuff he's been doing. Like, Trump, you know what I'm saying? The Lord's clearly working with Trump on the left-hand side, of course, to get things moving, bro. Martial law is like, shit, probably 2 weeks away. Well, he moving. He said, they hitting up Chicago next, right? I think. But, bro, you know, Jake and Chicago, they don't play. Something's bound to go down, bro. And that's all they need. All they need is, you know, one Jake who really think he about that to bust at an officer, bro. All hell breaking loose after that, right? But Trump gotta be this cruel lord, dog. Cause, like, or even if it's not him, right? Which, you know, we believe it is. But who really gonna come in here stepping like how Trump is, bro? Nobody doing that. Like, nobody's doing that, bro. Trump is he really stepping, like, and that's what we need. That's what we want, bro. That's why we love Trump, because he gonna get these prophecies rolling. He already got them rolling, right? You know, the Lord got them rolling through him. Let's say that. So Trump gotta be this cruel lord, dog. Actually, let's just search up the word cruel real quick, see what it says. Some of the synonyms. Willfully causing pain or suffering to others, or feeling no concern about it. If that's not Trump, I don't know what is. Brutal, savage, inhuman, barbaric, barbarous, brutish, bloodthirsty, murderous, homicidal, cutthroat, vicious, ferocious. Now, you know what I'm saying? A couple of those, he haven't shown that side yet, but we know, right? Bloodthirsty, murderous. We know that's ultimately all you Edomites, right? But here it says savage, right? Trump's the definition of a savage. Look at how he's moving. Trump say, you tell him he can't do something because it's in the Constitution. Trump gonna look at you and say, what Constitution? Constitution? We'll worry about that later. If that's not savage, bro, I don't know what is. Right? So, you know, with all this division, Trump moving how he moving, all these officers gonna be setting up everywhere, Chicago, Florida, everywhere. They hitting all the major states. Martial law soon. This world is coming to an end, man. We can't wait. I'm gonna close out in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Right? And you know, that's now. Right? Iniquity is everywhere now, like the whole world, but mainly dealing here with America. Right? That's all you see. And what? That's the guys that Trump is moving under to bring these troops into all these places, right? The iniquity, we want to make the place safer. You know, we want to clean it up. Right? Verse 13, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. You know, but in order to endure unto the end, you have to come into it first, right? So if you haven't already, you know, the Negroes, Latinos, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, repent, right? Because the Bro, the time is near. The time of the end. We're in the time of the end. But the end of the end is near. Right? And you're going to want that heavenly, divine protection when that judgment kicks in. You know, and for the brothers and sisters who are already in this truth, enduring to the end, right? Pray. Pray that the Lord gives you the spirit to endure to the end. Right? Pray that pray every day for that faith to be unwavering, especially in the times to come. Because we're going to need it. We're going to need Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right, so with that being said, once more, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the whole flow elect.